Today is September 3rd. I have to be very honest today. I'm actually a very honest guy. Um, but I have to be very honest today. I have to be frank. Little over 2 weeks of financial vacation has caused me to be very enthusiastic about jumping back into day trading. It's a good thing that I took a little bit of time off to think about what I was doing, because if I was continuing on this journey without holding and thinking about it, stopping and thinking about it, I would have been in a tunnel and not really able to grasp what was going on, right? So what I deduced is that um, so fortunately there was this one individual who says on my YouTube channel, he says, if you backtest and you're sure of your data, then psychology does not play into any of your trades. That's what he said. He made a comment about that. And somehow my self-conscious started to think about that. Then I made a couple of trades, and and I've noticed a very, very good setup oh my God. I noticed a very, very nice setup that I prefer. I prefer to trade that, but it can get me into trouble because I will be too early, and it turns out that when I enter, the move hasn't finished yet. The previous trend has to finish before my setup actually takes hold and then moves. But I can be wrong a lot of the times. So I could be wrong like 40 times before I get it right. When I get it right, I can size in, because when I'm right, the size can just I mean it can have a tremendous amount of gain on it. So I wonder if this thing is able to, not while it's recording. Ah, yeah, not while it's recording. Yeah. Anyway, so I have this little setup right here, right? This setup. And so if I look at the setup, I prefer it to reach at this point and do a mother of all setups right there. Okay? And when it does that, it reaches this point and I start to accumulate right here. And I can get really big right here, because this is actually sitting on a support. And when it does that, it'll finish this move and then go sideways and then start to move up. This time around, I sold a little too soon at this point right there. Had I held it, that would have been another double and a half right there. A double and a half. The gain would have been a double and a half with the size that and it's, I set my profit target right there, right where it is, right there. But I sold here because I was so scared. Anyway, so I was thinking about what this guy wrote on my YouTube channel, and I thought, oh, oh, these things that are so obvious, I cannot see because they're so close. So what he's talking about is that when I have a very good understanding of a setup, then I will be able to take it without a emotional trauma to that specific event occurring. Okay? And and because I already know within a very high probability how the trade is going to unfold. So what I realized is that between point A and point B, there's infinite points of infinite points, and I can enter into any one of those points willy nilly, just randomly. I could just pick one and get in. But ideally, but on a very specific idea, I need to get in close to A so that it could go to point B, uh, point A to point B, get as close to A as possible so that I can maximize my gain to point B. But if I'm like halfway there, then the move has already finished halfway. But if it's close to B, then chances are I'm going to be like, I could be massively, or I could be thinking incorrectly. Even though it's going from A to B, I'm thinking it's going to go from B to A, and it could be totally, totally wrong. So I realized that I can enter at any moment. If I slice time from time A to time B, I can slice it infinitely, and I can get into it at any point. But but there is a situation where I can preemptively look at a particular location and then say, okay, this is the start of something. This is actually point A, and it's like building something, and I can get into it at that moment. And then I can ride it out to point B, and I say, oh, it's going to get very close to point B. Now it's time to get out. Okay, so that's the entry and exit point. And when I see the particular setup that forms, then I can trade it all day long until the cows come home. Yeah.